name is Rod Malek. I'm the Pottymouth Preacher with Saltwater Ministry. And I just want to open up here today, cover something real critical with everyone. You know, I haven't been hitting on this too hard, but the administrations and how critical they are to the Bible. You know, there's a really, what is addressed to you? Not, you get an envelope in the mail, and it's got your name on it. And, you know, that's addressed to you. And that's for you. And then you get some mail. It's general, maybe neighbor, you know, some invite. Maybe on, you know, it doesn't have your name. Now you can still open that letter, you know, if who it's to is in question. But you can learn something from it, but it's not addressed to you. And that's what we want to cover, because not everything in the Word of God is addressed to you. There is, you know, some things are written to Jews, some things are written to Gentiles, some things are written to the household of God. And, you know, where you're definitely, and it's, you know, the administration we're in, the time period that we're in. There are 7 administrations in the Bible. And the grace administration, the mystery revealed, is from Romans, and then you guys through Colossians, but then after Colossians you got a couple of leadership epistles, Thessalonians, 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, that are also in that time period. And that's so we can you know, have a clear understanding on leadership and what their job is in the body. And but yeah, so it's really this stuff is what you want to have down, because this is this time period now. Now the Old Testament is good, and the Gospels, but therefore our learning, we read them in light of what is addressed to us at this day and time, because you're going to see some things in the Old Testament where it's just a different time. Certain things haven't been fulfilled yet. Man is body and soul, but man is not body, soul, and spirit, that we have now available through the accomplishments of Jesus Christ, according to what the Scriptures say. And so that's huge. And the first administration was a patriarch. No, it wasn't. It was paradise. That was the first administration. And that was Adam and Eve, and they were in the garden, and the ground was fertile, and they didn't have to work with the sweat of their brow, and everything was easy, and it was great. And then when high treason was committed against God, they went into a new administration, and that was the patriarchal, or if a woman was in charge, it'd be the matriarchal administration, where they were subjected to like the rules of, or the one who was doing the believing, the head of the family. Like in Job's time, where Job wasn't really, you know, believing right on about some things. He took his focus off God, and you know, he suffered under that. He got it all back, and even greater at the end. But and then that was a patriarchal administration. That's the time period God winked at, because there was no law. Then you had the law administration, and that happened, you know, the children of Israel started worshiping the gods in Egypt. They've been there 400 years in bondage and slavery. And you know, they came crying to God. When they come crying, God's going to answer. And that was the law administration, that time period, in which Moses gave the oracles. And then you had the fourth administration, which is Jesus Christ's ministry here on earth. You know, on which two are the greatest commandments? And he says, well, there are 2. On which are the greatest commandments? And that is to love thy God with all thy soul, mind, and strength, and thy neighbor as thyself. Of course, there are more commandments, but when you follow those 2, it takes care of those and a lot more, you know, and to love. And God is love. And then we have our administration, the 5th administration. And we're going to follow that up a little bit today, because 5 is a very special number in the Word of God. 5 is a number for grace. And we are in the grace administration, mystery revealed. And I just want to go to Romans 16, and I want to read to you that this is a time period God kept hidden from the beginning, that all the prophets and all the angels sought to know, and God had it hidden. And verse 25, now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel, which is good news. That's what gospel means. That gospel and the preaching of Jesus Christ according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began. So this is some new information. This is awesome. This is off the lid now. And but now, verse 26, is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting God, made known to all nations for the obedience of the faith. And that's our time period now. That's what's made available. That's who we are. And I just want to cover this with you real quick. These are the redemptive titles that God has, and he wants us to be clear on his nature and who he is. And this is El Aman, the omnipotent one who is faithful to keep his word. God is not a man that he should lie. And it's Deuteronomy verse 7 and 9. And you get a shot, you go there, you look at it, and it's great to share these things and get them over and cover them. So I just want to do a real quick shout out to a few of y'all that I know you've been checking me out and giving me comments and things at work on it. And let's see here. Okay, so we got Alan, and hey Alan, thanks for checking me out and you know, sticking with the program. I really appreciate it. And I meant to wear a Budweiser shirt today. Maybe next time, you know. I got a couple of beer shirts around here. And then to Mom, sorry, about the one video. I, had 7 beers before it, and I just really, I know I had a lot of mistakes on the doctrine, that video. And it was just too many, and the camera people were talking to me about it afterwards. And I'm like, oh, you gotta lighten up a little bit, Rod, before you do one of these. So I've been endeavoring to do that because you do want to make sense of things, and I do have a responsibility at both ends. Let's see here. I'm just trying to give people what they want, and it's also probably the third most watched video in about a quarter of the time. So I think it's doing well. And then, Bobby. Hey, Bobby, glad you're checking out the Pottymouth Preacher. Glad you got a business card. That's great. And, we work together, and it's just really been an awesome opportunity and a real blessing to work with you. And it's great, and I definitely always love your attitude and what you bring to the warehouse. It's beautiful there. And then Hector and Burton, man. You two, you're on me about that saltwater project, and that's great. And I'm glad you stuck with it. And I've got a new series coming out. This is going to be awesome. It's my game in the world, and that's going to be a special series that is going to be on this video. So I know on my Facebook and on my YouTubes. So it's going to be awesome, and that's my game in the world. So anyway, have a wonderful night, and God bless you. And remember, this is Rod Malek, the chiefest among sinners, the least of all believers.